Okay, I thought I'd make a quick video to show a problem we've been having and the solution with our sump pump setup and our backup and how we're going to kind of try to simplify it. Years ago, we had this backup sump pump installed. It's a Wayne model. The over the years, the battery has gone dead, and we no longer have a need for it. Primarily because we have a whole house generator which comes in through this pipe right here, or that conduit right there. So what we're going to do with this, the problem that we've been having is this primary pump, the float switch has been getting stuck and it's been running dry constantly. So here's the solution we've come up with. We've procured a solid state pump switch from the guys at LevelGuard. I'll leave a description. I'll leave a link in the description, but they're about $100 from Amazon. Here's the part number, but you'll see the link. This is a 9-foot model, the 15-foot cord. With the 9-foot cord, the 15-foot cord is the same price at Amazon. But that's what we're going to do. Essentially, since we no longer need the battery backup and constantly replacing batteries that we don't ever use, and we have the whole house generator, what we're going to do is we're going to simplify this. We're going to remove the battery backup pump, the battery backup controller from the system, and we're going to have one pipe coming up and out, and we're going to install that solid state switch so that our float is no longer getting stuck. All right, be right back. I'm going to start taking some of this apart. Here are some additional supplies that you're likely going to need if you're going to do something like this yourself. Again, I'm not a plumber, just trying to fix this on my own. You're going to need the switch, a pair of channel locks, a little bit of 1.5 inch probably. We'll try to reuse what's here mostly. You'll need some wire ties, some PVC cement, and primer, probably a blade, maybe a hacksaw, some new hacksaw bimetal blades to cut a couple of PVCs if needed. That's about it. The first step is going to be to disconnect the existing pump so it doesn't run during our installation. Next step is going to get some nut drivers and take this. This is the valve. This has been hardly used, so I'm going to reuse this valve. I'm going to try to reuse this entire pipe and remove this pipe back here. So the first step is going to be to disconnect this one-way valve and pull the bottom PVCs out. Okay, be right back. So there's lots of ways. You could just use a screwdriver or nut driver to get these out. Here's my favorite way. Is anywhere I can get this little Makita 12-volt driver in there, I try to use that. The reason, I honestly, from a homeowner standpoint, I would recommend this above the contractor tools, the 18 volts. Unless you're going to be doing this kind of work all the time, this will more than suffice. These larger ones are 10 mils, and then the smaller ones are 8. So you just switch the head on it, and you can drive it. And you can see how easy it is. And it's super simple. So I'm just going to take all these off and be right back. Okay, we're to the part of the project where we're getting ready to mount the level switch. So essentially what we're going to do, so I got this all just sideways right now. I am going to put this onto here kind of high, and you can adjust it later. It comes with wire ties, but I'm going to put it up kind of high so that the pump itself can remain somewhat submerged, which is a good thing, and to keep it cool. And then it'll also fill the sump up a little bit more. So you can play with it. You can go down to here or wherever you want. But I'm going to keep mine kind of high just to let the water come in, so it won't allow this being submerged in water. It works better. Okay, this is what it looks like when it's installed. So mine's right here. They give you 5 of these, so they give you 3 extra cable ties, so that's kind of nice of them. So if you do need to move this, I mean, the idea is this new pump switch will likely outlast your sump pump itself. And all I'm going to do now is I'm going to use my own cable ties. I'm going to get all these wires, and I'm going to nicely dress them up the pipe, and then set the pump in place. Just as a reminder, even though this has an actual float switch itself, what's nice about most of these sump pumps is that they have the float switch itself on a separate circuit. And so for this setup, because I have my own switch, we're simply just going to run, dress this wire all the way up the pipe, and just not plug it in to the outlet. You can actually buy sump pumps without a float switch. If you're going to set this up and you're going to do this from the beginning, they're called non-automatic sump pumps. That's probably what I would do in the future if I ever replace this. There's no point for me to get one with a switch on it. You're probably going to save a couple of dollars going that route. Okay, we're almost to the end here. This is the finished product. Went ahead and attached it, put it back in the hole. I'm going to drop the cover down, so I want to get a video before we place the cover on it, and then just remember, you don't plug in the switch, the float switch that's attached to the sump pump. So the ends of the cords themselves will give it away. So the pump is a Flowtech, so the switch will say Flowtech on it. This is the one we're not going to use, and of course, the one that you want to plug in is this one right here, the LevelGuard. And apologies, the one I told you was the pump itself. Be careful. So the larger one is the one for the float switch. That's the one you don't want to use. Okay, the final step you always want to do whenever you're doing anything in the sump pump, I can't emphasize this enough, is test. So just get a bucket of water, put it in there, and run the test at least a couple times. Here's what I have found. I was trying to reuse my old check valve. It's leaking. So once again, we're having nice weather in this area, so I'm not concerned about it. I'm gonna go up to the home store and get another one. But it did actually, from the middle here, spray outward, so you can kind of see the spray here. So I'll wipe all that off, and we'll get a new valve going. But yeah, very, very important to test. That's what the final result looks like. I mean, pretty straightforward. I think now during the test, I'm also able to validate that the solid state switch is working perfectly. So that was the reason I was doing the test, and that passed as expected, but I found a failure point of the valve itself, so I'm going to fix that. Okay, this is the final version of the install of the new solid state sump pump switch. So as you can see, I put the new check valve in. This is a quieter valve, so the guy at Ace said he recommended it. That's about $15, about the same price as any normal valve, so that was good. And it goes up and out, and now all I'm going to do is put the cover on it. I'm going to call this a wrap. Alright, if you guys have enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you leave comments, I do reply to all the comments. So if you have questions, if I missed something, let me know and I'll try to respond. Thanks.